Welcome to Synagogues of Slovakia Part 2. In this episode, we start out in the city of Prešov. It's in the eastern part of the country with a population of around 90,000 residents. As we pointed out in Part 1, most of the synagogues in Slovakia today are museums. This is the Prešov Synagogue, which was damaged and abused during World War II. It was restored in 1957. We believe it was originally constructed around 1930. There were about 4,000 Jews in Prešov before World War II. There was also a yeshiva with 100 students in 1927. Mikuláš is a small town in northern Slovakia. There were about 800 Jews in Mikuláš before World War II. This synagogue building replaced one that was a wooden structure that had burnt down around 1878. So we're guessing this one was erected shortly afterward. Lučanek is in south-central Slovakia. In Yiddish it was called Loschens. Its synagogue was constructed in 1924 and recently remodeled. As we pointed out that in Slovakia most of the synagogues are treated as museums and educational opportunities to showcase the cultures that have disappeared. Trenčín is in western Slovakia, near the Czech border. Its synagogue was constructed in 1913 on the site of a wooden synagogue that had been built in 1781. At one time there were 2,000 Jews in Trenčín. The building was damaged during World War II, afterwards confiscated by the Slovaks, renovated in the late 1970s and converted into a museum cultural center. Finally, Trnava is in western Slovakia. This is the status quo synagogue built in the 1890s. Damaged during World War II, it is also a museum piece, mostly of artwork. And this was the Orthodox synagogue, built in the 1890s, and although it survived the war, it stopped being used as a synagogue in the 1950s. It is now privately owned and also showcased as a relic of culture. And so we conclude our look at the Jewish houses of worship of Slovakia. So it's on to another European country.